Thank you for joining us. Here are the weekly highlights of Arakan. Fighting intensifies near Sittwe as tensions rise between Junta and Arakan army. Muslims allowed to participate freely in auctions in AA-controlled areas. Residents in Thandwe sleep in bomb shelters after consecutive airstrikes. Junta blockade deepens hardship for residents of Manaung. AA rejects Junta drug allegations as political smear campaign. Armed clashes between the Arakan army and the Myanmar military have been ongoing for more than 2 years now. In this weekly segment, covering December 29th of 2025 to January 4th of 2026, we'll be bringing you key developments regarding the situation in Arakan. Fighting intensifies near Sittwe as tensions rise between Junta and Arakan army. Residents of Sittwe say fighting has intensified in recent days, with the sounds of heavy artillery and small arms fire once again being heard at close range after a brief lull during the election period. From January 1st to January 4th, residents reported continuous artillery shelling and machine gun fire near Sittwe, including areas around No. 12 Police Battalion and Lewitalondo Pagoda close to military junta units. Military tensions remain high in Sittwe Township, where clashes between the junta and the Arakan army has occurred frequently in the past, including artillery shelling, drone strikes, and air attacks. According to local sources, the junta has carried out drone attacks on areas under AA control, including Sittwe, Wabo, Rakhine, Manaung, as well as border villages near Bonajan Township, such as Sabata and Almergong. Military sources also said the Arakan army has responded with artillery fire targeting junta positions near Sittwe, including units close to Western Regional Military Command, Dakasa. Residents further reported that near Amranjan village, at the entrance to Sittwe Township, exchanges of artillery and drone attacks between the two sides have increased in recent days. Muslims allowed to participate freely in auctions in AA-controlled areas. In townships across Rakhine state, controlled by Arakan army, business-related auctions for current year are being held, with local Muslim residents allowed to participate freely according to sources familiar with the process. For the 2026 fiscal year, economic concession auctions are currently being conducted in Manaung district, and Muslim business owners have been permitted to submit bids. A local Muslim resident said that under successive previous governments, Muslims were barred from participating in such auctions in Rakhine state, but are now being allowed to compete openly. The auction for licenses and economic concessions for 2026 fiscal year in Manaung district was held over 3 days on December 28th, 29th, and 30th. Members of the Muslim community said granting equal rights without discrimination based on ethnicity or religion represents a positive development for Rakhine state. Muslims, along with other ethnic communities living in AA-controlled areas, are currently participating in reconstruction efforts across the state. The Arakan People's Revolutionary Government is presently administering governance in Rakhine state, including public administration, the judiciary, healthcare, education, and taxation. Residents in Thandwe sleep in bomb shelters after consecutive airstrikes. Residents of Thandwe town in Rakhine state say they have been forced to sleep in bomb shelters following 2 consecutive days of junta airstrikes that resulted in civilian deaths and injuries. Locals said fears of further air attacks have intensified as the junta has carried out indiscriminate strikes that have not spared civilian areas. The military carried out air bombardments on Thandwe on December 29th and 30th. During the attacks, 9 civilians were killed, 17 others were injured, and 6 homes were destroyed. Among the injured, some remain in critical condition. Local humanitarian and social welfare groups are reportedly working together to provide medical assistance. Earlier on December 29th, Christmas Day, junta airstrikes on Rakhine village in Thandwe killed a displaced woman. Clashes between the junta and the Arakan army in Rakhine state have continued for more than 2 years. Civilian casualties caused by airstrikes and artillery fire have steadily increased. According to data compiled by DMG during 2025 alone, at least 294 people, including children, were killed and 556 others were injured in Rakhine state as a result of junta attacks. Junta blockade deepens hardship for residents of Manaung. Residents of Manaung Township, a town under junta control in Rakhine state, say their daily lives are increasingly affected by blockades imposed by the junta's navy. And local residents said, the military has restricted freedom of movement while also tightly limiting the import of essential goods. On Manaung Island, prices of basic medicines have surged sharply. A strip of paracetamol tablets now costs around 4,000 jets, while a single amoxicillin capsule sells for up to 3,000 jets. Residents also report that only 1 doctor is currently serving the entire township. Goods are transported to Manaung via Yangon, and transportation fees are charged based on weight, significantly driving up prices according to local traders. Travel restrictions have also created serious challenges for residents seeking medical treatment on the mainland. To travel, individuals must obtain multiple documents including a doctor's recommendation, approval from ward or village administrators, police clearance, household registration copies, and authorization from the General Administration Office. Because obtaining such permissions can take months, residents say emergency medical cases are particularly difficult to manage. Agricultural produce, rice, and seafood from Manaung Island cannot be transported to other regions, causing major difficulties for farming and fishing livelihoods. With transportation and local commerce severely restricted, residents say their socio-economic conditions continue to deteriorate. The junta has imposed strict controls on communications, travel, and the flow of goods to Manaung Island for nearly 2 years, leading to a sustained decline in livelihoods. AA rejects junta drug allegations as political smear campaign. The Arakan army has strongly rejected accusations by the junta that it is involved in transnational drug trafficking and uses drug profits to purchase weapons, calling the claims a politically motivated smear campaign. A spokesperson, Ka, responded to allegations made by Vice Senior General Thandwe at a junta meeting held in Naypyidaw on December 29. According to the AA, the junta, facing military setbacks on the ground, is using underhanded political tactics to spread propaganda internationally in an attempt to damage the reputation of the ULAAA. At the meeting, Thandwe accused the Arakan army of engaging in drug trafficking, smuggling chemical precursors, producing narcotics, transporting and storing drugs, distributing them domestically, and coordinating exports abroad in cooperation with international drug syndicates. The junta further alleged that the AA uses approximately 70% of its drug-related profits to purchase weapons and ammunitions, collaborates with international arms smuggling networks, and exchanges weapons for synthetic drugs, along with committing other transnational crimes. The junta has repeatedly made drug-related accusations against the Arakan army, which currently controls large areas of Rakhine state. In response, the AA said the military regime itself is responsible for drug trafficking and other criminal activities. ULAAA spokesperson Ka said the organization is willing to cooperate with any government or international body in efforts to combat narcotics trafficking. These were the main highlights of the past week in Arakan. This program is presented every Tuesday, so please stay tuned. May all people of Arakan and the world stay healthy and safe.